But you quite like writing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you obviously like communicating, you're a good talker. Good, yeah. Have you learned from this man? He's one of our best journalists out this way.
That's very
So
cool.
he knows a lot about this. You need to ask him any questions. He's a good one to talk to as well. That's very good. Right, so what are we going to do? You're going to hit me with some questions?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's go. This could be hard hitting.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah. All
Should I
right.
start?
Yeah, you go.
You're recording?
When you became Prime Minister, what were some of the things you found most surprising?
Oh, when I became Prime Minister. Do you know the most surprising thing is how hard it is to work in a round building?
Oh.
So I work in a building called the Beehive, and it was designed in the 1970s, and someone thought it would be really good to make it circular. So it doesn't have any straight hallways. Everything you've got to walk around in a circle. And that means it's quite hard sometimes to you can get lost very easily as you try and find the people on your floor. So that's the problem with circular buildings. Very, very surprising and often challenging to work in.
Okay. Since the government has just changed the mathematics system,
Yep.
what are your goals for education across the country?
Yeah, so we want three things. We really want you to get our kids back to school, so they go to school regularly, and because that's really important. If you're not at school, how are you supposed to learn? And if you can't learn, and we can't get you taught the right things, how do you get really good jobs at the end of it? The second thing is we want you to get much better at reading and much better at mathematics, and that's why we've got an hour a day of maths and reading and writing at primary school and intermediate. And then we've actually put a big focus in our NCA replacement in high school to make sure we do that. Why? Because we want you to be able to get high-paying jobs that Singaporean kids can get or Canadian kids can get, and we want you to be as well educated, if not better educated than everybody else in the world, so you can do that in the future.
When things go wrong, like a major weather situation or cyclone, or a big problem with the economy, how do you as a Prime Minister stay calm and respond to that?
Well, that's a really good thing because you can get very stressed about it, or you actually just slow down in your head and you go into what's called blue brain and you just really think through the facts and the issues instead of going into red mode and getting really hot and fired and emotional about it. And you just say, what's the problem here and what are we going to solve it and what are we going to do today to start to do that? And you just focus on the next thing that you have to do. And if you do that, then it gets sorted and it gets under control. So you just got to go into problem solving mode, really.
So it must be really busy.
There's every day it's such a cool job. I wake up at 4:30 every morning, 7 days a week, and I don't know what's going to come at me. It could be anything going on in the world or in New Zealand, and it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Some of my friends have moved to Australia. I really miss them. What are you doing to stop people from moving to different countries and make our community stronger?
Yeah, so really what we've got to do is we've got to make it so that people can work hard, they get enough money that they can actually live the life that they want to live with their family. We've got to make sure that people feel safe, that there's actually crime is coming down, that there's less crime. We've got to make sure their kids can get really well educated, and we've got to make sure their parents can get really good access to healthcare. And if we can do those things and people say, oh, actually, I think there's a great future for me and my family here in New Zealand. So New Zealand over the last 30 years has been through periods where it's been tough economically, meaning in a financial sense, and that's when people have often left to go overseas. But they come back if we do the right things and build back the country the right way. So that's what we're working hard to do.
Most kids of my age worry about future college, university, and even jobs. What are you doing to solve this problem for kids like me in the future?
Well, I think there's heaps of jobs out there in the world coming because with technology, there's all these new jobs being created. And in fact, we think there'll be 240,000 new jobs created in the next 4 years in New Zealand. And so that's why we're working so hard to say to people that may be on welfare at the moment, we've got to get them ready for work. We're saying to our young kids coming out of school, we want you going to work and training and education. And that's why we're working so hard on the education side, getting you to do maths and reading in a much better way, because we want to have some really cool people who can manage and understand AI. We want people to be able to be great engineers as we build a 4-lane highway from Auckland to Whangarei. So we need those people with the skills to do those great jobs that then pay a lot of money that actually means that those people can support their families really well.
With so much tension between some big countries in the world, tariff issues, wars, and if anything goes wrong, like World War III, how do you ensure the safety of our New Zealand people?
Yeah, so the first thing is I have to build good relationships with the leaders of lots of countries around the world, and but like when you have a conflict in the playground with your friends at school, it's the same thing. You've got to be able to have a conversation with each other about the stuff that could create a conflict and actually get out of hand. That then you don't want to have a war happen. So a lot of it is having good relationships and really good quality conversations, so that we don't get to that position where there is a conflict like that in our region of Asia Pacific. And the other bit is making sure that our economy is functioning well, so that if there's a tariff issue, like you would have seen in the US, that we can actually move our products and sell it into Europe or into other parts of Asia. And then we've also invested a lot in our defence force. So we've got a lot of about $12 billion in the next 4 years going into our defence force, which is our Army and our Air Force and our Navy. And we've got amazing young people that have chosen to go into those fields because they can get really good trades and great experience working in the armed services.
Are you planning on standing for re-election as the MP for Botany?
Yes, I am. So I've got to make a decision over summer as to when the election will be. That's the decision of the Prime Minister. But I'm also the MP for Botany, as well as the leader of the National Party and the Prime Minister. And so I'll make that decision, and then I'll be standing again as the Member of Parliament for Botany. Which is an awesome electorate, because this is where I grew up as a kid. So I went to Cockle Bay Primary and Star of the Sea and Howick Intermediate and Howick College, which is pretty awesome.
When you were my age, what did you want to be as a grown-up?
I wanted to be a business person, an entrepreneur. So I wanted to have my own business or run a big business. And so actually that's what I ended up doing before I came to politics.
Yeah, we've been learning a lot about business.
Have you? Good. Yeah, well, you need good maths and good writing to do business well, eh? That's really great.
What time do you go to bed? My dad says the Prime Minister never sleeps.
Yeah, well, I don't sleep a lot, so I get up at 4:30, maybe 5 some days. And then depending on what's going on, I can work till very late, after midnight. Yeah, midnight, 1 a.m. even. So quite a lot most days. Yeah. So like tonight, I've got 3 more meetings to go. I'll get home at 10 o'clock, and then I'll start my reading for tomorrow, and then I'll read between 10 and midnight, and then I'll try and get to bed before 1, and then I'll be back up in the morning, and then down to Hamilton, and then back to Wellington, and then tomorrow night, and then back to Auckland, on Sunday night. So that's all go.
Do you do that every week?
Yep, I do. So every week when I have to go to Wellington, I do my media on a Monday morning on the TVs and radio. And I jump down on an aeroplane and I chair a cabinet meeting at about 11 o'clock in the morning. And then I do some media rounds, and then I talk with my teams and work in my office. And I usually come home on Wednesday night to Auckland, or but then on Thursday or Friday I might be somewhere else in the country as well, so on Saturday.
If there was one thing that you could improve about New Zealand, what would it be and why?
I'd love to make New Zealand wealthier. I'd like everyone to have a lot more money, because when you've got more money, you've got more choices about what you get to do with your life. And that's what I've really got to do, is build a good foundation, and before you can put other things on top of that foundation. So that's really the focus.
You recently met Donald Trump. You went to India and met Prime Minister Modi. And I'm sure you would have met a lot of world leaders. Who is your favourite and why?
Well, I don't have a favourite, and if I did, it would be a real problem, because then the ones that weren't the favourites would be really angry with me. But I've got lots of good friends who are leaders of other countries, and it's really important, because a bit like at school, how at school you can often have these groups of kids that hang out with each other and they don't talk to the other groups. My job is to talk to everybody, so all the groups and all the kids, and I want to have relationships with everybody. So, and everyone's different, every personality is different, right? Just like it is at school with the playground. And so it's the same in the world leaders. But it's really nice to actually talk to world leaders, because often we will do a dinner, just the two of us together, without any of our officials or advisors with us. And you get to really know the person well, and they're quite tough jobs, these jobs, and so it's nice to talk to someone who's also going through the same experience.
What do you do to manage the stress of the job of running the country? What do you do to relax and switch off?
Well, I have 2 awesome kids and a great family, and my brothers and all my mum and dad and everybody. And so if we want to relax and unwind, they all come over to my house and we have a barbecue and have a dinner, and we would just turn the music on and we have music playing loud, and that's fine because I love music. And we will have the music pumping, and it might be the odd bit of dancing in the kitchen, and it's good. So we have a lot of fun. Yeah. So you got to make sure you have lots of fun outside when you're not working, and then make sure you go to work and you go to work really hard. Yeah.
If a book is written about you and your journey so far, what would the title of the book be?
Oh, well, actually, there's a movie by a guy that could play me in a movie, I reckon. I think it'd be great. And his name is Jason Statham. And he's a bald guy like me. He's an English actor. And I reckon he'd be a great actor to play me. And he had a movie recently called The Hive. And he said his job was to keep the hive. It was called The Beekeeper, actually, was the name of the movie. And his job was to keep the hive healthy. And I work in a place called the Beehive. So maybe my job is to keep the hive healthy so that the country's healthy. That's what it's about.
Last question, and this is...
Well, last one. Okay.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely yes.
I agree with you.
Yep. You can't have a Hawaiian pizza without pineapple, I reckon. So you've got to get your pineapple on the pizza, and it's okay.
Yes.
You think so too?
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I reckon it's really good. Well, thank you so much for interviewing me. You were amazing. You did a great job. So you should be very proud.
She's
That's
great.
really awesome. So well done you.
Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Now, we get a photo. We got all photos for you guys.
Oh yeah, can I grab one too? Do you mind?
Yeah, sure, mate.